Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Board of Selectmen meeting for Tuesday, June 24th. The time is 7 o'clock, and we're opening the meeting. At this time, I'd like to ask everyone to join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we got a limited agenda tonight, so hopefully we can get through this quickly. The first item scheduled is residents. Is there any residents that would like to be heard? All right, seeing none, we're going to get to new business. New business is boards and committee discussion. We have a bunch of applications that are up for renewal. And we're going to,
Before we get to that,
Yep.
the discussion piece was the follow-up on the presentation from our last meeting. And then the next item is the reappointments and appointments.
all right, I didn't get a presentation on that. I mean, I know we had it, but I didn't know we were going to be discussing it again tonight.
Yep. Yeah, so that was the intent of the last meeting, was to solicit the feedback, which happened, and then basically propose a path forward. So it's a one slide.
If you would like to discuss it, you're more than welcome to.
Thank you. So, again, this is just a consolidation. I did one slide for brevity. We don't need to go through the full deck again. But based on last discussion and feedback received, this is kind of the proposed timeline. What I'm going to be looking for after we talk through this is I'm going to make a motion to create the working group. Since it will be an informal working group, it's not a requirement, but I think it would be good to have the consensus of the board behind it. The intent of the working group would be to go out and do a lot of the legwork that we currently have on our staff and loop in some other individuals to assist with that. The working group would only be rolling up all that information, doing the legwork, and then presenting it back to this board. And then this board can take whatever actions it would like with that information. So I have the timeline up there, talking through the launch and planning, which is now through August. Working group actions would be working group approved, kickoff meeting, scope deliverables confirmed. Looking at the fall is review the current policies, charters, reporting practices, conduct outreach. November, December is prepare policy recommendations, templates, etc., as well as technology solution recommendations. Looking at January is to deliver that set of recommendations back to this board and submit the proposed language. From there, the board takes it. On the right-hand side, we have the proposed select board actions, which are, should this board wish, approve the working group that I'll be proposing here in a moment. In August through October, review the working group updates, solicit public feedback should we wish. November through December, again, preliminary review of the working group's drafts. January would be to review the final package after it's proposed by the working group. And then schedule a discussion and vote for adoption, should it wish. February through March is to hopefully vote on adoption of the revised policies, oversee the implementation via town manager and town clerk, so that by next spring, summer, we're in a position to start enforcing those policies that we have been discussing since April, and kind of put some formalization around it. Are there any questions, thoughts, feedback?
I guess, Mr. Mackey, my question would be is, so what are you, so I'm seeing with the reappointment slips that we're about to look at, actually it looks like most positions are 1 year, with a few that are 3 years. So you're looking at implementing this for the next cycle when these positions are up, 1 year
Correct.
from now, essentially. And then I guess my second question would be is, how do you envision this working group? Are you thinking a subcommittee of the select board? Are you thinking other stakeholders within the community? How are you envisioning that?
So right now, informal working group, do have a line out to town council for some confirmation on how we can do things correctly if we want to expand the scope and formalize it a little bit more.
Yep.
But as of right now, just informal. A lot of this is work I've already begun doing. It's more of a making sure the board's aware, and then I'm going to continue to talk to other individuals, other board chairs, and I want to be able to have something that's a little more disclosed to the board, so everyone's on the same page.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Hahn?
I'm assuming I'm reading the action, this is basically a mission statement?
I can do a more formal one, but I was hoping to keep this informal with the intent of reviewing and providing feedback for the board.
Okay.
And continuing
But
to
I could
reach-
take this as basically the mission statement, that's all I'm asking.
Yes.
I'm all set, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Mackey, I appreciate you putting this together, but, you know, personally, I'd like to see, if we're going to put something on the agenda, I appreciate if you would send it to me ahead of time, so this way the board can review it, and we're not reading it at the time of a meeting. And we have one board member who's not here tonight, so my personal perspective is I'd like to review it. I appreciate your work on this, but I'd like to send it out to the board members, I know there was an email sent to the selectman's office and having Paula send out emails, but, you know, personally, we've been reviewing all these other things as well, and I didn't have time to go through this at the time. So my thing is I'd like to at least have this sent to us at the presentation to go through it, review it, see if there's any other recommendations ahead of time, and then we can put it on the agenda, so this way everybody knows when they're voting on something. You know, I didn't even have this on the agenda to vote as of tonight. You know, we had a discussion, but there was no confirmation that, you know, this is something that you wanted to finalize tonight.
It's been an ongoing discussion since the board reorganized. It's been on every agenda item, and I did bring it up explicitly at the last meeting with the intent of doing this. Feedback was solicited, so I would like to move forward with this. Again, this is something that I'm already doing. I would like to formalize it a little bit more to make sure that, you know, everyone's on the same page and understanding. But if it's not something that you personally like, that's fine. I am still going to make a motion, and if it gets shot down, so be it. But I think we owe it to residents to have a clear plan that is outlined, that everyone knows what's coming. I know there were discussions and concerns about changing policies. I know I've gotten feedback. I believe the town manager's office has gotten feedback, town clerk's office. Because we had a lot of people who had to go through and do applications that were not part of the process. And while I'm not opposed to making changes, I just think we need to do it in a very deliberate manner.
No? Happy to you see it that way. Thank you. All right. Would you like to make a motion?
I would. So I would make a motion to formalize the working group to walk through the action items on this timeline.
I'll second that.
So we got a motion and a second to formalize this working group?
Could
Yep.
just point of clarification, Mr. Mayor.
Yep.
So when you're saying that you're motioning to formalize a working group, do we have individuals that are a part of that working group? And I apologize, maybe the select board has typically, I know you guys have a water infrastructure working group, which I think is comprised of the select board. I'm familiar with subcommittees from the school committee perspective, so just trying to get point of clarification.
Nope, great question, thank you. So this is, again, I guess formalize wasn't the correct word.
Okay.
It's more of a vote of confidence or alignment for it, because this is already something I'm doing. I want to make sure that when we get when I'm reaching out to other chairs, other committee members, I have something and everyone's on the same page for what's going on in the background, what will be proposed, when they can expect things. So it's more of just a public sentiment, so everyone's on the same page.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess my feeling on it then is, I personally am not opposed to a working group. I guess if you're going to be reaching out to individuals that are chairing various subcommittees, et cetera, I guess I'd like it that working group is the one doing that, not just, you know, you individually per se, right?
Correct.
Whoever's on that committee.
So that's what I was trying to avoid explicitly, was making it a committee, just for all the extra overhead. So keeping it a little more light, a little more informal. So
Yeah.
that's why, again, my choice of words for formalizing were incorrect.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, you state by saying aye.
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 Chair votes nay, so it will be voted in 3-1.
Thank you very much.
Yep. All right, we got board and committees, new applications and reappointments. All right, so everybody has the list of, you want to start with new applications, I guess? That's the way we have it on our agenda.
Mr. Chair, can I just, as far as this goes, so I noticed that there are several individuals here that have applied for multiple boards, and I certainly appreciate their sentiment to want to be engaged and involved in the community. Do we know if there's any specific interest, is there a priority level maybe? Do we have anything like that from these specific individuals, as I didn't notice anything specific on their applications for each of these boards? I didn't know if there was anything that maybe anybody had sent you directly, potentially.
No one sent anything directly to me. They just sent in the applications to the town, and they have applied for the open spots.
Yep.
It appears that, from what I can see, there's openings for the majority of these, for these positions.
Yes.
And a number of applications have applied for numerous boards and committees. So it's really up to us to decide if, how we want to handle that. If you get the list of all the committees and boards that everybody would like to apply for, and, and then it's up to us to make recommendations after reviewing them. So we can make it simple. We can go through the reappointments first, if that makes everybody happy, or we can go through
I think that would be the easiest thing.
the easiest thing.
Perspective.
Okay. All right.
Mr.
So-
Chairman,
Yes.
do you want me to sort of summarize, sort of give you the breakdown of what the status is, just to give you an overview? Like, for example, the reappointments, we received applications from everyone that's on this reappointment slip, with the exception of one person. It's seat 2 for the beautification committee. And so the only real question here for the board is, I think it would be a matter of rote that you would probably just reappoint all the people that have reapplied.
Yeah.
And then the board just needs to decide what you want to do with that C2 beautification committee. You want to wait for that person to eventually apply? Because there was no response at all from that individual, so we don't know one way or
I
another.
saw that.
And so really, that's the only question with the reappointments. The other ones are pretty standard.
Yep. So we have a list of, as you can see from the reappointment slips, we have applications from all the things. There was only one seat that we did not receive an application that came in from the Tewksbury Beautification Committee. They tried to contact the person numerous times, and there was no response. So we didn't get an email application or any notice that they were into renewing. So we can go through one by one, or we can do it as a slate.
I think we should do it as a slate, and I'll make that as a motion, and just to remove the Tewksbury Beautification Committee, seat 2.
Okay, all right, so we got a motion to remove that one seat, and put that on a hold. Do I have a second to that motion?
Can I
Yep, you go right ahead, sir.
So, to that motion, I mean, we have the Tewksbury Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee as well, similar, where there was a hold with no response. And I know that committee, just based on some of the information on the new application stuff, that there's nobody that's also applied. So clearly that committee is not just necessarily on hold for the individuals, but also a bit in question as a committee itself right now. So, I mean, I don't know, Mr. Holland, if you're interested in potentially altering that motion to include that one as well?
Mr. Curran, was there
Yeah, so
3-1?
he's correct. So there was also no response for the
Yeah.
DEI committee. And so you may want to just withhold that one as well, because that committee is not really active at this point.
Okay, I'll make an amendment to that motion to hold on C2 for the Beautification Committee and member at large for the TDAC Committee.
I'll second that.
So I got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Just for the residents, notice, all these boards, that we get Board of Registers, Community Preservation, Conservation Committee, Council on Aging, Economic Development, Historic Commission, Mass Cultural Council, Open Space and Recreation, Tewksbury Beautification, Tewksbury School Facilities Committee, Town Council, which we already voted on, and we're going to be voting on the Trust Fund Committee. All right, so now we're into the vacancies. So if somebody would like to, or anybody has any, you have the list in front of you.
Did you actually make a motion? Did you guys vote on that?
What's that?
For reappointments.
You voted
We
it?
voted on it, yes.
Do you want me to walk through these two?
If you'd like to, if you'd like to.
Yeah, I might make it smoother. So for the first one, Board of Registrars, there is one applicant, but there was also a recommendation from the Republican Town Committee. I think the letter was, I think you guys received the letter, it was a Kathy Savell.
Yeah.
So typically, you appoint a recommendation from either the Democratic or Town Committee, and you've received one.
All right.
So, Mr. Chair, I mean, if you're okay with this, I mean, I think, just given that we have multiple people that have applied for multiple different boards, I mean, would it make sense to do each of these boards one by one?
That's what, yeah, well, these we're going to, the reappointments, we did it as a slate.
Okay,
These we're going to do them individually because we have multiple applications.
So then I would make a motion to accept Ms. Kathleen Seville's application on the recommendation of the Republican Town Committee for the Board of Registrars.
I got a motion, do I have a second on that?
I'll second that.
I'm going to get a motion from Mr. Russo, second by Mr. Holland. All those in favor, please state by saying aye.
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 Chair votes aye as well. Okay.
Okay. Community Preservation Committee. Hold on a second.
I think you're on the wrong list there, is it?
I just want to open up my, okay, here it is.
Economic Development.
Economic Development.
Economic Development, there are 3 applications for three positions, so there's really no competition for that one, no point of interviewing. Just, I would imagine the board would just want to appoint those 3 positions.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to appoint Scott Saccone, Perry DeLisi, and Ryan Lloyd to the Economic Development Committee.
All right, we get a motion to
Second.
put this 3. We get a second by Mr. Russo. All those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Last night, I'll take this one, Finance Committee. Last night, we had a meeting, myself, the chair of the Finance Committee, and the town moderator, did a number of interviews. We had a number of people come in and apply, and last night, we appointed Ms. Lindsay Dunn-Levy-Tosto and Mr. Evan Walsh to that appointment. So those slips were finalized tonight.
Yeah, same.
All right, next we're on to the Historic Commission.
So the Historic Commission, you have 2 applicants, one is Keith Sullivan, and one is William Wyatt, and I guess I just leave that up to the board to decide how you want to handle that one.
Mr. Chairman, seeing as William Wyatt used to be the chair of the Historic Commission and was the town historian for a number of years, I would make a motion to appoint Mr. William Wyatt.
I get a motion from Mr. Wyatt. Do I have a second for that? All right, I see no second. Do I have any other motions?
I'll make a motion to approve Keith Sullivan as the Historic Commission applicant.
I get a motion for Mr. Keith Sullivan. Do I have a second for
I'll
that?
second that.
I get a motion and a second from Mr. Keith Sullivan. All those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Mass Cultural Council.
Okay, Mass Cultural Council, this is another one that you need to, I think, make a decision on. There is 1 applicant for 11 open positions. However, that committee is a very large committee, and there's some concern about meeting quorums because the committee is so big. I think it's 24 members. So you might want to it's up to the board, but you might want to hold off on any appointments and look at changing the structure of that board in the fall so that it's a less unwieldy committee.
Yeah, I agree. That was one of the reasons of having the conversation about some of these boards and committees that meet in quorums and the difficulty. A lot of times we have applicants that we end up putting on boards because they apply for multiple boards, and then we end up making that board or committee very, very large, and that makes it difficult for quorums to meet. So I'll listen to any recommendations on that.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to table the Mass Cultural Council appointment until we have a discussion on how we're going to handle the board itself, size, et cetera.
I get a motion to table, so I get a second. All those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Tewksbury Beautification Committee.
Okay, excuse me, Mr. Chairman. There are 2 applicants for the Tewksbury Beautification Committee, and one of those was just appointed to the Economic Development Committee, so that leaves 1 applicant for 1 position if you choose, and in order to try to get people on boards, that might be one way you go, or you could obviously appoint Mr. Lloyd to that one as well, but
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve Mr. Bruce Schick to the Tewksbury Beautification Committee.
Second.
Oh, second.
I get a motion by Mr. Russo, second by Mr. Mackey. All those in favor, state by saying aye.
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 Chair votes aye as well. The TDEIAC, I see that we've received 0 applications on that. I don't know what the board's recommendation.
Mr. Chairman, I believe this is another thing that we should review, like the Mass Cultural Council, because I went through the meetings. They've had 24 meetings since they were established. We have 3 sets of minutes for all those meetings. So I think we have to look at this carefully and see if we're going to continue the committee or dissolve it, one or the other.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion to put the TDAC on hold until maybe the next meeting, and we can make a decision or make a decision in the fall.
Well, which would you prefer?
I'd like to do the next meeting myself.
Would it make, just food for thought here, we've just created a working group that, and to be fair, I don't know who's a part of that working group, but we've created a subcommittee to look at policies, procedures, et cetera. Are we expecting that working group is going to be making recommendations on some of these committees that are not either active or maybe are lacking in minutes or quorum status or whatever? So, is that something that committee should do, and therefore it would table it? Or, I don't want to say, but essentially it would postpone it until the working group comes back with more formal recommendations to the board.
That's fine.
Again, I don't want to drag this out here. We've been talking about this for several months, but equally, it doesn't seem like there's, either we're not advertising it properly or there's not enough interest, right? It's one or the other. But we also created a working group as well at this point, so maybe that's something that they want to take on, I guess is my point.
Okay, I'll amend my motion until we get the results from the working group.
So we get a motion to table till we have discussions with the working group. We have a second? Second by Mr. Russo. All those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. All right. We have, where we at, Mr. Curran?
so you're gonna hold off on the school facilities because it's being advertised again because there are no applicants?
Yep, okay.
And then the Trust Fund Commission, there were 2 openings on that committee. Well, actually, one of them's a reappointment, which I believe you already did with Kelly Odoms. And then the other one is an opening, and I'm actually recommending that you put Al Rigo, who's put his application in. Al is obviously, he's the finance director for the town. And I wrote a definition in that revised report I put in. Commissioner, trust funds are responsible for the administration, the commissioners of the trust fund are responsible for the administration and management of various trust funds within the town. So Kelly and Al basically do all that work anyway, so I just thought, the one that was on there previously was, she just retired a little while ago. She was the assistant treasurer. She retired about 2 years ago. So he would take her place, and that seems to make a lot of sense. So that's just a recommendation that I'm making. There is another applicant, I believe, Scott Ciccione for that job.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, at this time, I'll listen to any recommendations from the board.
Motion to appoint Al Rigo.
I'll second that.
Okay, so I got a motion by Mr. Thing to appoint Al Rigo, sorry, and second by Mr. Holland. All those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well.
Thank you. And I think that's it. They were going to advertise the zoning board of appeals associate member again,
Yep.
and that takes care of all the vacancies.
Beautiful. That was pretty simple. All right, I think that handles the new business. And then we're over to town manager.
So, good news, town manager's report was just about the boards and commissions, which we just did, so I have nothing to report.
All done now.
So we got a town council invoice?
Yeah, our town council invoice from May 16th to May 31st of 2025, the amount of $2,762.50 to be paid to Bailey and Brown.
I'll make a motion to approve the town council invoice for the period of May 16th to May 31st, 2025, in the amount of $2,762.50.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Board member reports. Mr. Holland,
I have nothing much, sir.
Mr. Mackey,
I have nothing at this time. Thank you.
Mr. Russo.
Nothing as well.
I have, the LRTA is going to be meeting this Thursday. We'll be discussing, this year's the budget proposals and looking at additional transportation improvements around the area. And hopefully that some of the news will be welcome. From what I understand, we're getting additional revenue from the state, and they're trying to increase additional ridership through our community. The only other thing I have is, we have the Tewksbury will be having the 4th of July celebration on July 3rd. The town has worked hard. I appreciate Paula's work and Amy's work of putting all the information out. Vinnie for doing everything yourself, meeting with all the boards and committees to make this work for everybody. It's going to be July 3rd. There'll be daytime events for the kids, and the fireworks will be going off at 9:30, weather permitting. There'll be additional information on the website, so anybody interested, go to the town website, Tewksbury MA, and you'll get the times and dates of everything that's going on. All right, that
Motion to adjourn?
I got a motion to adjourn. Second. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well.